Starship Malaysia, 1982. Lies that save lives. I wanted to kill him, my dad. Now he's gone. I'd seen it back in California. It was on the local news. A helicopter shot of a truck smashed onto a concrete barrier. Beneath it, a tangled, smashed up car and two blurred out bodies lying beside the wreck. The police came knocking and told me. I was in the car with them, in the back seat, watching the sun setting over the glittering ocean. I was on this endless road trip, but alone, without the tension in the car. Agnes and my dad, they'd been shouting and arguing most of the morning. He'd been drinking. The minibar in that hotel, empty. He hadn't hit me, not that time. Not with Agnes there, but his anger could flash out and he'd turn and strike at me, or if I did or said anything he didn't like. My school report hadn't been that great, but A's, a couple of B's, mostly C's, but nothing from Dad. Like, he couldn't care. I hated him for that. John, slow down, you're driving too fast. Don't worry, darling, I'm fine. Look, I'm slowing down in the fast lane. Whoa, that car flashed at me, asshole. Agnes turns to look at the truck thundering along behind us, and a mad guy in a pickup behind, leaning on his horn and flashing his high beams. She's like really worried and goes on in this panicky voice, all breathy, but trying to sound calm. That's okay, take it easy. Pass his truck and then get into the slow lane. Dad puts his foot down and we speed past the Kenworth Semi, bright red and massive. He signals and gets in front of the truck. There, I'm ahead. We're traveling fast, way over the 65 speed limit. Dad pushes the car to get ahead. A blast from the horn terrifies us. It's so loud and urgent. The truck's silver radiator fills the rear window. We're trying to stay ahead of it, but we're descending a long curving slope. The speedometer 100 and climbing. The truck's still on our tail. It's too fast, Agnes is screaming. She's so hyped. My stomach tenses. A sharp curve ahead, a sign 40. We zoom past. Then another. Construction. Slow down. This fucking truck is right at my back. With vehicles on both sides, we're trapped. This huge Kenworth thundering behind with his horn deafening us. Agnes sobbed, I don't want to die. Dad's gripping the wheel, his hands and face white as he fights a massive thump, and the jolt slams the car forward and tosses it up for a split second. The truck smashes into the car with a screeching and tearing of metal and crunching of bones. I fly up, and there's the sun glinting off the ocean, the soft brown cliffs crumbling to sandy beaches and the wreckage of the disaster. The truck hangs over the barrier with wheels spinning and the motor straining to drive it forward. Dad and Agnes smashed against the concrete wall, built to stop cars from flying headlong into the valley below. Hovering, I watched the fire crew lift my dad's remains out of the car and lay his body on the ground next to Agnes. Crying, heaving and gulping air, I'm trying to breathe. It's pitch black. I'd fallen to the lowest point. My dad, I'd never even said I loved him. What am I? A real shit for a son? That's what I wrote in my dream journal, Friday Night Dream. I wrote it down right after waking up. I always write them down and I date them. Saturday morning, Dad was drinking coffee out over the yard. Anything to avoid looking at me. Agnes was putting on her killam dress in the bedroom. The murk shining in the drive. A beautiful day, Palo Alto. Oh man, I so miss it all. And yeah, you know that. Goodbye, that's all he said. Kind of cold and unfeeling. Then he turned and walked out the door. Couldn't get out quick enough. Agnes tried to kiss me, but I ducked and felt her wet lips brushing my head. We'd been arguing that night. They wanted me to go home with them to some boring conference in Las Vegas and taking the scenic route through Death Valley. Ha! I didn't know at the time. No, I'm staying, I told them, standing my ground and looking him straight in the eye. You're coming if I have to strap you in or some shit like that. You know how he gets. He was mad drunk that night. You told me later you heard me shouting out something like, no way. Hey man, there was more of this crazy stuff, how he'd make me regret it and, well, whatever. Yeah, standing up to him, I was ready to I don't know. But yeah, Agnes must have felt this because she pulled him into the bedroom and that was it. A 3-day trip, leaving Saturday morning. I had the dream Friday night. Was I wishing the dream? But get this, the police told me late Sunday morning, something about the truck's brakes failing, but their story totally matched my dream. How scary is that? I hadn't seen it on TV. I couldn't have, because it wasn't on till the Sunday afternoon news. I'd done an astral projection or OOB, as that shrink called them, into the future, out of body. I traveled into the future. It wasn't just a dream. He reckoned that the argument had been powerful enough to project my dreaming state into a true OOB, sparked by some incident, like us shouting in the poor relationship I had with my dad and having Agnes in the house. So now he's telling me how he reckons I feel about her and him. It was so clear. I mean, I was there with them. And then I flew up and was looking down on the whole scene. Weird, eh? Man, I couldn't tell you before. I know you think I'd gone totally ape on you, but yeah, it happened just as I described it. It's still so vivid. But you know, I wanted to kill him or have him dead, and now he's gone. So lost. I've had these vivid dreams before, but never left my body. I'd read it in some book, Body Asleep, Mind Awake. That's how it is or was that time. I knew I was in it. And this is so weird. I don't really want to say it, but I flew through a door and into another dimension and time. Twilight Zone stuff. Now I remember the door. Or am I making it up? I didn't write it down. So maybe, anyway, we're flying out of the UK to Malaysia tonight. Yeah, I know that's like so cool, man. And sorry I didn't contact you much while I was there, but so much has been going on that, well, man, I sent you a postcard of something British. I can't remember. Was it a cow in a field or some castle? We've got plenty of both out here, I can tell you. Yeah, Mum's got this job, and I'll tell you later. Stay tuned, because I'm going to explore a totally alien culture. Fun, eh?